The lights flickered again on Colony Station Meridian. Commander Alex Turner held onto his chair as the entire station shook from another hit. 50 enemy ships surrounded them. The Krell warships were closing in for the kill. Alex could see them on the display screen, moving closer and closer. Lieutenant Kate Morrison worked at her computer station. Her fingers moved fast across the keyboard. She was trying to make the communication system stronger. Behind her, warning alarms screamed. The station's protective shields were failing. The numbers on her screen showed the bad news. Shield strength was down to 12%. "Commander, the shields cannot take another hit like that," Kate said. Her voice was calm even though everyone was scared. "We have maybe 5 minutes left. Then they will break through." Alex looked at the camera feed showing the lower levels of the station. 3,000 people were down there. Mothers, fathers, children. They had come to this place in space to start new lives. They wanted peace and safety. Now they were trapped. No help was coming. The nearest military fleet was 2 weeks away. Their emergency calls had received no answer for hours. The station rocked again. Sparks flew from a control panel. A young officer rushed over with a fire extinguisher. Alex gripped the arms of his chair. He had trained for years to command this station. But nothing could prepare him for this moment. Watching 3,000 innocent people about to die. "There is one more thing we can try," Kate said quietly. She pulled up a classified file on her computer. The words on the screen read Protocol Omega-7. "It is our last option." Alex's face went pale. He knew about Omega-7. Every commanding officer in the Federation knew about it. But most had never even considered using it. It was the forbidden option, the last emergency choice that Command had hidden deep in secret files. It was a direct message to Earth, a planet that humanity had left behind over 300 years ago. The reason it was forbidden was simple. Nobody knew if Earth would answer. Nobody even knew if anyone still lived there. Earth had been abandoned. The planet was too violent, too dangerous, too many wars and too much fighting. When humans finally learned to travel between stars, most people left. They went to peaceful planets with clean air and gentle weather. Earth became a story that parents told their children, a warning about what happens when people are too aggressive. The Federation had moved on. They built beautiful colonies on friendly worlds. Earth was left behind, a failed experiment. A violent past that civilized humanity wanted to forget. "Do it," Alex said. His voice was barely a whisper. "Send the Omega-7 signal to Earth." Kate's hand stopped for just a second. Then she pressed the button. The communication system groaned as it used all remaining power. It sent a signal across the vast empty space to Earth. The message was simple, desperate. A prayer sent into darkness. "This is Colony Station Meridian calling Earth Command. We are under attack by Krell forces. We need military help immediately. Authorization code Omega-7. This is our final message." The message shot into space, like throwing a bottle into the ocean, hoping someone would find it. Kate looked at her commander. Her eyes showed both hope and fear. Around them, the station shook again. The shields dropped to 4%. They were almost gone. "Now we wait," Alex said. But he knew there was nothing to wait for. They would all be dead long before any help could arrive. Even if someone on Earth heard their message. Even if Earth still existed. He turned to his crew. "Everyone, take the civilians deeper into the station. Move them to the central core. It is the safest place." The crew members ran to follow his orders. They knew it would not help much. But doing something felt better than just sitting and waiting to die. Kate stayed at her station. She watched her computer screen. The signal they had sent was now lost in all the noise and radiation of space. She wondered if their last words would ever be heard by anyone. 30 seconds passed. Then something impossible happened. Kate's computer came alive with lights and sounds. An incoming message. Her eyes went wide with shock. Her mouth opened, but no words came out at first. "Commander," she finally said. Her voice shook with emotion. "We have a response. Someone is answering us. From Earth." The entire bridge became silent. People stopped moving. Everyone stared at Kate's station. Alex walked over to her computer. He looked at the screen. He could not believe what he was seeing. The message was short. The language was old, but the words were clear. "Meridian Station, this is Earth Defense Command. We received your Omega-7 signal. Stay where you are. Help is already coming. Arrival time is 4 minutes. 4 minutes." That was impossible. It took weeks to travel from Earth to where they were, even with the fastest ships. even jumping through hyperspace. Alex opened his mouth to say something, but a new alarm started screaming. The sensors were detecting something strange. Massive energy readings. Something was forming just outside where the Krell ships waited. Kate's fingers flew across her keyboard. She pulled up the sensor data. What she saw made her heart race. Commander, something is opening in space. Multiple points. Big energy signatures. Something is coming through. Alex moved to the main viewing window. He pressed his face close to the glass. Out in space, he could see it. Red tears were opening in the fabric of space itself. Not the normal blue glow of regular jump engines. These were violent, angry, like wounds in reality itself. What is that? Someone whispered. Nobody had an answer. The red rifts grew larger. Energy crackled around them. Then the first ship came through. Kate checked her computer. Ship identified as UES Valkyrie. United Earthship. Her voice went higher. Commander, more ships are coming. Many more. The Krell fleet, which had been ready to destroy the station, suddenly had a new problem. Ships from Earth poured through the red rifts. Dozens of them. They moved fast. Faster than any ship Alex had ever seen. The Krell formation scattered in confusion. The Earth ships looked different from normal vessels. They were not smooth and elegant like Federation ships. These were rough, scarred, covered in weapons. Their hulls were painted in dark colors that seemed to swallow light. They looked like they were built for one purpose only: war. Alex stood frozen at the window. His crew gathered around him. Everyone watched in amazement and fear. After 300 years of silence, Earth had answered. And they had brought an entire fleet. The Deathworlders had come, and they looked ready for a fight. Lieutenant Kate Morrison stared at her sensor screen. The readings made no sense. Energy levels were off every chart she knew. Whatever was coming through those red tears in space was moving at impossible speeds. Normal ships would have been torn apart by such velocity. But these ships from Earth kept coming. More and more of them. Commander Alex Turner stood at the viewing window. His hands pressed against the cold glass. The first Earthship was now fully visible. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. The ship called Valkyrie was not beautiful. It was brutal, angular, covered in old battle scars. Every surface had weapons attached to it. The hull was painted black and gray, colors that seemed to eat light instead of reflecting it. More ships coming through, Kate reported. Her voice was shaking. 30, 40, 50 ships now. All from Earth, all armed. The Krell fleet had been preparing to finish off Meridian Station. They had been confident. 50 warships against one damaged space station. Easy victory. Now they found themselves surrounded by something they did not understand. Earthships appeared all around them. Fast, aggressive, moving like predators circling wounded prey. On the bridge of the Valkyrie, Captain Ryan Hughes sat in his command chair. He was a man of 45 years. His hair was turning gray. Scars marked his face. His uniform showed years of use. But his eyes were bright with excitement. It had been 300 years since Earth had received an Omega-7 call. 300 years since the colonies had needed them. Now they finally had a chance to show their wayward children that Earth had never forgotten them. All weapons ready. Shields at full power, Ryan ordered. His voice carried an accent that sounded strange to modern ears. It was the accent of old Earth. Time to teach these Krell what happens when you attack humans. The weapons officer was a young woman named Lisa Chen. She grinned as she worked her controls. I have target locks on all enemy ships, Captain. Ready to fire on your command, Ryan smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Everyone, it is time to remind the galaxy why you do not mess with humanity. All ships, you are cleared to engage. Fire when ready. The Valkyrie's cannons opened fire. The space around Meridian Station lit up with weapons fire. But this was not the careful, measured combat of the Federation. This was something else. Something violent. The Earthships did not form defensive lines. They did not wait for the enemy to approach. They charged forward like wolves attacking sheep. On Meridian Station, Alex watched in shock. The largest Krell warship, the one that had resisted everything the station could throw at it, simply exploded. 3 Earthships had focused all their fire on it at once. The coordination was perfect, ruthless, efficient. They are not trying to disable the enemy ships, Kate said. Her voice mixed horror with awe. They are going straight for kill shots. Every single time. A new message came through from the Valkyrie. Captain Ryan's voice was calm, almost casual. like he was having a normal conversation instead of commanding a battle. Meridian Station, this is Captain Hughes of the Valkyrie. We have control of the situation, but you should still move your civilians to the shelters. Things are about to get very loud. Loud was not the right word. The Earthships used weapons that the Federation had banned centuries ago. Weapons too dangerous, too destructive. Kinetic missiles that could punch through shields and metal like they were paper. Plasma torpedoes that burned hot enough to melt anything. And other weapons that Kate's sensors could not even identify properly. The Krell tried to fight back. They were a warrior race, proud and fierce. Their technology was as good as anything the Federation had. But they had never fought anything like this. Every move they made, the Earthships had a counter. Every formation they tried, the Deathworlders tore apart with brutal efficiency. A young pilot named Peter Clark sat at the helm of the Valkyrie. He was only 20 years old, but his reflexes were incredible. Growing up on Earth with its heavy gravity and dangerous environment had made him fast, strong. He laughed as he spun the massive warship through space like it was a small fighter craft. Krell missiles passed through empty space where the Valkyrie had been just moments before. "Captain, 3 Krell ships are trying to run away," Lisa reported from her weapons station. Her fingers never stopped moving across her controls. Ryan's face became hard, cold. "No, they came here to kill civilians. Nobody leaves until this is over. Contact the Defiance and the Fury. Cut off their escape routes." What the Krell had planned as a massacre became a disaster for them. Ship after ship fell to the Earth fleet. The aliens had never faced enemies who fought with such ferocity, who seemed to actually enjoy combat. These humans from the old homeworld did not just fight to survive. They fought like every battle determined the fate of their entire species, because in a way it did. Earth had never known true peace, never known a time without war or struggle. The planet had produced more predators and dangerous creatures than any world should. Humans had fought their way to the top of the food chain through pure stubborn will. They had refused to give up. That legacy lived in every person who still called Earth home. The battle lasted 17 minutes. When it ended, every Krell ship was either destroyed or fleeing into hyperspace. The Earth fleet held position, weapons still hot, shields still up, ready for any other threats. Only then did Captain Ryan allow himself to relax slightly. "Meridian Station, this is the Valkyrie," Ryan said. "All threats have been eliminated. We are standing by if you need humanitarian assistance, and welcome back to the human family. It has been far too long." On the station, Alex slowly sat down in his command chair. His legs felt weak. 3,000 people had been saved. Saved by Earth. By people they had been taught to think of as primitive, too violent, too dangerous for civilized space. But those dangerous people had just done what the Federation could not. They had protected their own. Kate looked up from her station. Tears ran down her face. "They came for us." Earth remembered us, Alex nodded slowly. Around him, his crew was cheering, hugging each other, crying with relief. Down in the shelters, civilians were receiving the news that they would live. That help had arrived from an impossible source. Through the viewing window, the Earthships maintained their protective formation around the station. Dark, scarred, deadly. But to the people of Meridian Station, they were the most beautiful things anyone had ever seen. The Deathworlders had come when called, and they had brought salvation with them. Alex reached for his communications panel. "Captain Hughes, this is Commander Turner. On behalf of every person on this station, thank you. You saved our lives. We owe you everything." Ryan's voice came back warm. "You owe us nothing, Commander. You are human. You are family. That is what family does. We take care of each other. Always have. Always will." Commander Alex Turner stood in the main docking bay of Meridian Station. His dress uniform felt uncomfortable. Behind him, the station's senior officers waited nervously. Around them, repair crews worked to fix the damage from the attack. But everyone's attention was on the airlock door. The docking clamps engaged with a heavy sound that echoed through the bay. Beyond the door, the Valkyrie waited. The Earth warship looked even more intimidating up close. Alex took a deep breath. These people had saved 3,000 lives. Whatever they were, whatever they wanted, they deserved respect and gratitude. "Everyone ready," Alex said quietly. "Remember, they just saved us. Be polite. Be grateful." Lieutenant Kate Morrison nodded. Her hand kept moving toward where her sidearm usually was. Something about the Earth ships made her nervous. Ancient instincts warning her of danger. But she forced herself to relax as the airlock began to open. The doors hissed open. Captain Ryan Hughes stepped through first. His officers followed. The first thing Alex noticed was how they moved. Federation officers walked carefully, slowly, like people who had spent their whole lives in safe, controlled places. These Earth military people moved differently. Every step was balanced, ready, like coiled springs that could explode into action at any moment. Ryan was in his 40s. His hair was gray at the temples. Scars traced lines across his face. His uniform was clean but showed real wear and use. When he smiled, his eyes remained serious, alert. The eyes of someone who had seen too much combat. "Commander Turner," Ryan said warmly. He held out his hand. "Ryan Hughes, captain of the Valkyrie, commanding officer of the 3rd Earth Rapid Response Fleet. Sorry we could not arrive sooner." Alex shook the offered hand. The grip was very strong. "Captain Hughes, you saved our lives. 4 minutes from signal to arrival? That should be impossible." "We cannot complain about sooner." Ryan grinned slightly. "Nothing is impossible. Just difficult and sometimes dangerous. We have been developing faster travel for 300 years. Without the Federation watching us, we could experiment freely. Isolation has some advantages." He gestured to his officers. "My staff. Lieutenant Lisa Chen, Tactical Officer. Ensign Peter Clark, Helm. Dr. Helen Wright, Chief Medical Officer. Commander Greg Stone, my Executive Officer." Each officer nodded. Alex noticed they all had that same watchful alertness. Even the doctor. Even someone who represented healing moved like a person ready for combat. "Perhaps we should talk somewhere private," Alex suggested. "I have many questions. The Federation will have even more when I report this." Ryan's expression became serious. "Federation Command, yes, we need to discuss that." They moved to the conference room. Once inside with the doors sealed, Ryan leaned back in his chair. He studied Alex with an intensity that made the commander uncomfortable. 300 years, Ryan began. That is how long since the Federation abandoned Earth. They decided we were too violent, too primitive, too dangerous for civilized space. They took everyone who wanted to leave. Then they never looked back. Kate spoke carefully. The records say it was mutual. Earth needed time to heal, to recover from environmental damage. Lisa Chen laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Is that what they teach you? That we needed to heal?" "Commander Turner, Earth did not need healing. The Federation needed us gone. We scared them. Human evolution made us too aggressive, too competitive, too willing to fight for what we believe. And they were right to be scared," Ryan continued. "Look at what we did to that Krell fleet. 50 warships destroyed in minutes, by a force 1/3 their size. That is not just better technology. That is 3 billion years of evolution, producing a species that refuses to quit, refuses to surrender, refuses to accept anything less than victory." Alex sat back. "But you came when we called. You saved us." "Of course we did," Ryan said. His expression softened for the first time. "You are human. You are family. The Federation might have abandoned Earth, but we never stopped watching the colonies, never stopped monitoring, never stopped caring. We knew about Krell aggression. We have been tracking their expansion for years. The Omega-7 Protocol," Kate said suddenly. "How long has it existed?" Commander Greg Stone answered. "Since the day the Federation left. It was a compromise. They would not let Earth have official contact with colonies, but they could not completely cut all ties, so Omega-7 was created, a final emergency line, to be used only when everything else failed," Kate whispered. "When I activated it, what did it really say?" Ryan smiled grimly. "It said your children are dying. Come get us." And we did. Silence filled the room. Outside, repair crews continued working. They did not know the galaxy had just changed forever. Alex looked at these warriors from Earth, these remnants of humanity's violent past. He realized something important. "What happens now?" Alex asked. "The Federation will want answers. They will want to know why Earth intervened, what your intentions are." "Our intentions are simple," Ryan replied. "We protect human colonies. All of them. Whether the Federation likes it or not." He stood. His officers rose with him. "But that is for diplomats and politicians. Right now, my crew needs to help your injured people. We need to secure the station. With your permission, Commander?" Alex nodded. He was still processing everything. As the Earth officers left, He wondered what the Federation had created by abandoning Earth. What happens when the Deathworlders decide they want more than just protecting colonies? Kate remained seated. Commander, did you notice something? They never asked for permission to enter Federation space. They never apologized for intervening. They just stated facts. They will protect us. Whether anyone likes it or not, Alex nodded slowly. I noticed. They are not asking to rejoin the Federation. They are telling us how things will be from now on. Should we be worried? Kate asked. Alex looked out the window at the Earthship still guarding the station. I do not know. But I know this. When we needed help, when the Federation failed us, Earth came. In 4 minutes. They saved 3,000 lives without hesitation. Whatever else they are, whatever their plans, they prove they care about us. Kate stood and moved to the window beside him. Together they watched the Valkyrie. The dark warship floated in space. Weapons ready. Shields up. A silent guardian watching over them. After 300 years of separation, humanity's homeworld had returned, and nothing would ever be the same again. The Federation Council chamber on Alpha Prime Station was designed to show power and unity. Representatives from 47 different species sat in circles around a central display. Their homeworld symbols glowed above their seats. But today the usual calm had been replaced with chaos. Everyone was shouting. Ambassador Victoria Shaw stood at the central podium. She represented the human colonies. Her hands gripped the podium edges so hard her knuckles were white. Around her, ambassadors argued in many different languages. Their translators struggled to keep up. The holographic display showed images of Earth warships that should not exist. Order, Fleet Admiral Marcus Webb called out. His voice barely cut through the noise. I will have order in this chamber. Ambassador Sessic of the Vulcan rose to his full height. He was a tall reptilian being. You demand order, Admiral? 3 days ago, ships from a forbidden planet appeared in our space. They engaged in military action without permission. This is an act of war. They saved 3,000 human lives, Victoria said sharply. Or does the Federation only care about rules when it is convenient? The issue is not whether lives were saved, Sessic hissed. The issue is that Earth was quarantined for a reason. Humanity's homeworld breeds warriors, not citizens. Everyone knows the history. Several delegations murmured agreement. Victoria felt cold anger in her chest. She had been born on New Terra, a colony world so peaceful that crime was almost unknown. She had spent her whole career working for peace. But listening to aliens dismiss her species as too violent made something primal stir inside her. Admiral Webb, Victoria said, turning to the military commander. I want your tactical assessment. Not politics. Not diplomacy. Pure military analysis. What did Earth's fleet do at Meridian Station? Webb hesitated. He had been fighting the Krell for 20 years. He had lost good people to their aggression. Finally, he touched his console. The display showed a detailed breakdown of the battle. They executed a perfect rapid assault, Webb said quietly. 17 Earth vessels destroyed or scattered 50 Krell warships in approximately 17 minutes. 0 friendly casualties. Minimal damage to the station. Based on our analysis, they could have done the same with even fewer ships. The chamber went silent. The implications were staggering. The Federation had been fighting a long war with the Krell, slowly losing ground. Trading space and resources. Earth had just shown they could crush Krell forces easily. Their faster-than-light technology alone is far beyond our current capabilities. Webb continued. The weapons they used included several designs we classified as too dangerous, and their coordination suggests either artificial intelligence, which we banned, or combat reflexes far beyond normal human baseline. Deathworlder advantages, someone said from the Lithani delegation. Gravity twice standard. Atmosphere that would poison most species. Predatory evolution. We knew this was possible if Earth developed advanced technology. Victoria took a deep breath. 300 years ago, this council decided Earth was too dangerous. You gave my ancestors a choice. Leave your homeworld or be left behind. Most chose to go. They wanted peaceful lives on gentle worlds. But some stayed, and they have been watching us ever since. She pulled up new data. Information compiled since the Meridian incident. Earth has been monitoring all human colonies since the Exodus. They have been tracking threats, assessing dangers, preparing for the day they would be needed. Omega-7 was not some forgotten emergency line. It was Earth's promise. They would never abandon their children no matter how far into space we went. And now they want recognition, Cesic said flatly. They want to be welcomed back. Military might and all. No, a new voice said. The main door opened. Captain Ryan Hughes walked in, still in his battle-worn uniform. Commander Greg Stone and security personnel from the Valkyrie followed. We do not want recognition from the Federation. Admiral Webb stood quickly. Captain Hughes, you were not invited. This is a closed council meeting. With respect, Admiral, I do not care, Ryan replied evenly. You are discussing Earth's future without Earth present. That ends now. He moved to the central podium. His presence commanded attention despite the protests. Let me make this simple. Earth does not need the Federation. We do not want your trade agreements, your defense pacts, your cultural programs. Then what do you want? Victoria asked. She studied this warrior who had appeared so suddenly. Ryan met her eyes. We want you to understand something basic. Every human colony in Federation space, every settlement, every station, every ship, those people are under Earth's protection now, whether you like it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not. The next time someone attacks a human colony, Earth will respond. We will always respond. That is not how the Federation operates, Cesic protested. Military intervention requires council approval, diplomatic processes, proper channels. Those processes failed Meridian Station, Ryan said coldly. They called for help. Federation response time? 2 weeks. By the time your proper channels mobilized, 3,000 people would be dead. We got there in 4 minutes, he turned slowly, making eye contact with ambassadors across the chamber. I understand Earth scares you. I understand that humans from a high-gravity death world make you nervous. Humans who evolved as hunters, as predators. But here is the reality. We are not asking permission. We are informing you of facts, Greg added quietly. The human colonies have a choice. They can stay under Federation protection, following Federation law, accepting Federation response times, or they can formally request Earth protection. Either way, if there is another Meridian situation, we are coming. The only question is whether the Federation works with us or against us. Admiral Webb studied the Earth officers for a long moment. You are offering a military alliance. We are offering what we always offered, Ryan corrected. Family looks after family. Earth left the Federation 300 years ago. But we never stopped being human. And humans protect their own. The chamber erupted in arguments again. But Victoria watched Captain Hughes with new understanding. Earth had not just saved Meridian Station. They had announced their return to the galaxy, not as supplicants asking for readmission, but as guardians who had never truly left. Webb raised his hand for silence. Captain Hughes, the Federation Council will need time to discuss this. But speaking as a military officer, I have one question. What do you need from us? Ryan smiled slightly. Nothing, Admiral. We have everything we need. Ships, weapons, technology. What we want is coordination, communication, the ability to respond to threats without bureaucratic delays. Give us that and we will share our technology, our training. Our protection extends to any species willing to work with us. Cesic spoke again. And if we refuse? If we demand Earth respect Federation sovereignty? Ryan's expression hardened. Then refuse. Demand what you want. But understand this. The next time humans call for help, Earth answers, whether you grant permission or not. The Deathworlders have come home, and we will protect our family. That is not negotiable. 6 months had passed since the Meridian incident. The galaxy was still adjusting. Commander Alex Turner, now promoted to station director, stood in the rebuilt command center. He watched ships moving through space around the station. The view had changed a lot since that desperate day when the Krell had nearly destroyed everything. Among the normal Federation civilian ships and merchants, Earth military vessels maintained constant presence. The Valkyrie had been replaced by another ship called Guardian. But the message was the same. Human colonies would never stand alone again. Director Turner, incoming call from Earth Defense Command. Lieutenant Kate Morrison said from her station. She had been promoted too. Many things had changed at Meridian Station after that day. Alex moved to take the call. The face on his screen belonged to Admiral Sarah Cooper. She was one of Earth's senior military commanders, the person now responsible for protecting all human colonies. She looked tired but happy. Director Turner, good to see you, Sarah said with a smile. How is the station? Repairs are complete. Population is back to normal. Trade is actually up 20%, Alex reported. Having Earth military vessels nearby makes everyone feel safer. Even the non-human merchants appreciate the security. That is good news. I am calling to tell you the Federation Council finally ratified the Earth Protection Agreement. After 6 months of debate and 16 versions of the treaty, they officially recognized Earth's right to protect human colonies. Alex leaned back. What were the conditions? Earth military can respond to threats against human colonies without prior council approval. In exchange, we share our technology. We provide military support against common threats. We also agreed to joint task forces for major conflicts. Regular communication with Federation Fleet Command. Kate spoke from nearby. Sounds like they got comfortable with Deathworlders watching their backs. Sarah's smile widened. Hard to argue with results. Since Earth started patrolling human space, Krell attacks dropped 90%. Other aggressive species noticed. They adjusted their strategies. Nobody wants to fight a species that views combat as recreation. There is more, Alex said thoughtfully. The colonies that requested Earth protection are changing. I read the reports. Crime rates down. Productivity up. But also something else. People are more confident, more willing to take risks, more aggressive in business and exploration. Deathworlder influence, Sarah confirmed. For 300 years, the colonies were raised in Federation peaceful environment. You learned to negotiate, to compromise, to avoid conflict. Those are valuable skills. But you lost something. You forgot how to be dangerous when necessary. The command center doors opened. Captain Ryan Hughes entered. He was now a familiar presence on the station. He had been rotating through various colony locations, helping establish the new defense network, training colonial security forces in Earth combat techniques. Admiral Cooper, Ryan said, nodding to the screen. I hope I'm not interrupting. Perfect timing, Captain. I was about to discuss the next phase. We are establishing the Colonial Defense Initiative. Earth will provide instructors to train colonial security. Upgrade station defenses. Create rapid response fleets positioned throughout human space. But there is something else. Sarah paused, choosing words carefully. We want to start a cultural exchange program. Not the usual diplomatic stuff. Real exchange. Colonial citizens spending time on Earth, learning our history, understanding where humanity came from, and Earth citizens working in colonies, seeing what we built during isolation. Why? Alex asked directly. Earth could just maintain military protection without all this extra contact, Ryan answered, his expression serious. Because we are not whole without each other. The colonies represent humanity's hope. Our ability to thrive in peace, build something beautiful. Earth represents humanity's strength. Our refusal to give up no matter what. We need both to be fully human. 300 years ago, the Federation forced a choice, Sarah added. Stay on the death world and be violent, or leave and be peaceful. But that was false. We are proving you can be both, strong enough to protect what matters, wise enough to build rather than destroy. Kate looked up. How are other species reacting? Mixed, Sarah admitted. Some are grateful for increased security. The Krell were getting aggressive with several non-human colonies too. Earth's presence forced them to back off. Others are nervous about Deathworlders patrolling Federation space. And a few are asking questions. What questions? Alex asked. The kind that keep diplomats awake, Ryan said with a slight grin. Why do humans get special protection? What if other species want Earth's help? Should the Federation rely on Deathworlders for security? Those questions do not have easy answers. But they are asking, Sarah noted. That is progress. For 300 years, the galaxy assumed peaceful species were superior. Violent species were primitive. Earth is challenging that assumption, showing that strength and civilization are not opposites. An alert chimed on Kate's console. She scanned quickly. Her expression grew concerned. Director distress signal. Mining colony on Kepler 7, under attack by unknown raiders. Requesting immediate help. Distance? Alex asked, moving to his station. 8 light years, Kate reported. Federation protocol requires requesting Fleet Command authorization first. Outside our patrol zone, estimated approval and response time is 48 hours. Ryan was already heading for the door. Guardian, this is Captain Hughes. Prepare for immediate jump to Kepler 7. All weapons ready. Shields maximum. We launch in 5 minutes. Through the viewport, Alex saw the Earth vessel's engines beginning to glow. He looked at Admiral Cooper, still on screen. That fast? Always, Sarah replied. That is what we do. When humans call for help, Earth answers. Every time, no delays, no debates, no hesitation. It is who we are. Alex watched the Guardian tear open a jump point and disappear, racing to save people they never met, on a colony they never visited. It was reckless, aggressive, completely against Federation procedure. It was also the most human thing he had ever seen. Kate, he said quietly, log this. At time of distress signal, Earth forces responded in 5 minutes. Add that Federation approval would take 2 days. Already done, she replied. Pride filled her voice. Also sent a copy to Federation Fleet Command, with a reminder that this is why colonies trust Earth. Speed matters when lives are at stake. Sarah chuckled from the screen. That will generate interesting discussions in council chambers. You are learning, Director Turner. Learning what? How to be both civilized and dangerous, Sarah replied. How to build beautiful things and defend them ruthlessly. How to be human in all the ways that matter. Welcome to the new order. Earth is back, and we are not going anywhere. The transmission ended. Alex stood looking at the stars. Somewhere out there, Guardian was engaging raiders who thought a human mining colony would be easy prey. They would learn, like the Krell learned, that humanity's children were never alone. Director, Kate said. Report from Kepler-7. Guardian engaged and neutralized raiders. No friendly casualties. Response time from signal to threat elimination was 12 minutes. Alex smiled. Add it to records. And Kate, send a message to all human colonies in this sector. Tell them what happened today. Tell them Earth's promise is real. 1 year had passed since that desperate day when Meridian Station sent the Omega-7 signal. Station Director Alex Turner stood on the observation deck, looking out at something that would have been unimaginable just months ago. An Earth training facility had been built near the station. Young people from a dozen human colonies trained alongside instructors from the homeworld. Kate Morrison joined him at the window. She wore a new uniform now, half Federation design, half Earth military style, a symbol of the new partnership that was forming. The first graduating class finishes training next week, she said. 50 colonial security officers, trained in Earth combat tactics, and how are they doing? Alex asked. Kate smiled. Better than expected. The Earth instructors are tough. Very tough. But they say our people have potential. They just needed to remember how to be aggressive when necessary. One instructor said we had forgotten we were predators too. Alex nodded. He had seen the change himself. Not just in security forces. Everywhere in the colony. People walked taller, spoke more confidently, pushed boundaries that they would have avoided before. Knowing Earth watched over them had given them freedom to be bold. Director Turner, you have a visitor, a voice said over the communication system. Captain Hughes is requesting permission to come aboard. Alex and Kate made their way to the docking bay. Ryan had become a regular visitor. He was coordinating the defense network across this entire sector. His ship, still the Guardian, arrived and docked with practiced ease. Ryan emerged from the airlock with someone new. A young woman in Earth civilian clothes. She looked around the station with wide eyes. Director Turner, Lieutenant Morrison, good to see you, Ryan said warmly. I would like you to meet Dr. Amy Fletcher. She is part of the Cultural Exchange Program. Historian from Earth University. Amy stepped forward and shook hands. I am here to document colonial history, and to teach about Earth's past, help bridge the 300-year gap. She paused. If that is acceptable. More than acceptable, Alex said. Welcome to Meridian Station. We have a lot to learn from each other. They moved to the conference room. Once settled, Amy pulled out a data pad. I have been studying what happened here. The Omega-7 signal. The Earth fleet response. It is already becoming legendary. But I want to know the human side. What it felt like. What it means now, Kate spoke first. It felt like the end. We were going to die. 3,000 people. Then the impossible happened. Earth answered. In 4 minutes. I still do not understand how. Ryan leaned back. We had ships positioned throughout this region of space, monitoring, waiting. When Omega-7 activated, every vessel in range responded immediately. We tore through space using drives that Federation science said were impossible. Because sometimes impossible is just difficult and dangerous. And we do not mind dangerous. Why? Amy asked, recording everything. Why did Earth care so much? The colonies left. They called you too violent, too primitive. Why protect people who abandoned you? Ryan's expression became serious. Because they did not abandon us. The Federation forced a choice: stay and be outcast, leave and be accepted. Most left, can you blame them? They wanted peace, wanted safety, better lives for their children. We understood. We never stopped loving them, never stopped watching over them. Family is family. Distance does not change that. The colonies are changing, Alex said. Not just militarily, culturally, economically. Knowing Earth is there, knowing we have that protection, it is changing how people think. How they act, Amy nodded. I have seen the statistics. Colonial expansion increased 30%. New business ventures up 40%. Applications for risky exploration missions doubled. You are taking chances you would not have taken before. Because we know someone has our back, Kate said simply. The Federation is good at many things. But rapid military response is not one of them. Earth gave us something we did not know we were missing. Security. Real security. The kind that lets you dream big because you know someone will catch you if you fall. An alarm sounded. Low priority but insistent. Alex checked his data pad. Interesting. The Krell ambassador to the Federation just requested a meeting. With Earth representatives. Not Federation. Earth directly. Ryan smiled grimly. They want to negotiate. After a year of watching their expansion stop cold, they want to talk terms good. War is expensive. Peace is better. As long as they understand the rules. What rules? Amy asked. Simple, Ryan said. Human space is off limits. Attack one colony, you attack Earth. And Earth does not negotiate during battles. We win first. Talk later. The Krell tested that at Meridian. They learned. Now other species are learning too. Some species are doing more than learning, Kate added. I heard the Lithani Confederation quietly asked if Earth protection could be extended to their colonies. Not officially, just quietly asking. Ryan nodded. We are considering it. But there are conditions. We protect those who treat humans as equals, who respect our colonies. We are not mercenaries for hire. We are guardians who choose who to guard. Alex stood and walked to the window. Outside, the training facility was visible. Young colonials running through combat drills, learning to be dangerous when needed. Learning the lessons Earth had never forgotten. What do you think happens next? Where does this go? Honestly, Ryan joined him at the window. I think we are building something new. Not the old Federation that valued peace above all else. Not Earth's way of constant readiness for war. Something in between. The best of both worlds. The colonies teach Earth that peace is possible, Amy said, understanding dawning on her face. That you can build beautiful things, create art and culture and science without constant conflict. And Earth teaches the colonies that peace must be defended. Kate finished. That beauty and strength are not opposites. That being civilized does not mean being helpless, Ryan smiled. Exactly. Humanity split 300 years ago. The Federation thought it was permanent. Earth too violent, colonies too soft. But they were wrong. We were not two species. We were two halves of one whole. Now we are becoming whole again. A message came through on the communication system. Director Turner, incoming transmission from New Terra. They are requesting an Earth protection vessel be stationed in their system. They are ready to sign the agreement. Alex checked his data. That makes 47 colonies now. Almost half of all human settlements have formally requested Earth protection. The other half will follow, Ryan said confidently, once they see how much the protected colonies thrive, how much safer they are, how much bolder they can be with Earth watching over them. This is just the beginning. Amy looked at them all. You know what you are doing? You are rewriting human history, undoing the Great Split, bringing humanity back together after 3 centuries apart. We are not rewriting history, Kate said quietly. We are continuing it. Humanity never stopped being one species. We just forgot for a while. Earth remembered. They kept the faith, waited for the day we would need them. And when we called, they came. Alex looked out at the stars. A year ago, this station had been dying, surrounded by enemies, abandoned by friends. One desperate signal had changed everything. Earth had answered. The Deathworlders had returned. And in doing so, they had proven something the Federation had forgotten. Humanity was strongest when united. When the dreamers who built colonies worked with the warriors who defended them. When peaceful wisdom combined with fierce protection, the colonies had the vision. Earth had the strength. Together, they were becoming something greater than either could be alone. To the future, Ryan said, raising his hand in an old Earth salute. Where humanity stands together. Where no human stands alone. Where the Deathworlders guard the dreamers. And together we reach for the stars without fear. Alex returned the salute. Kate and Amy joined in. 4 people from different worlds. Different backgrounds. But united by the same truth. Humanity had come home. And the galaxy would never be the same.